This show, along with hundreds of others from Calaroga Shark Media, is available commercial-free on any player, hassle-free. Just look for the link in the episode or show notes.
Calaroga Shark Media.
Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I am your host, Mark Francis. The highly anticipated society wedding of the year between Hugh Grosvenor, the 7th Duke of Westminster, and Olivia Henson took place Friday at Chester Cathedral. Despite windy conditions, hundreds gathered to catch a glimpse of the 33-year-old Duke, the new 31-year-old Duchess, and Prince William, who served as an usher. Henson arrived in a vintage Bentley wearing a silk dress with a 6.5-foot train designed by Emma Victoria Payne, along with the famous Faberge Myrtle Leaf Tiara worn by Grosvenor brides since 1906. The crowd gasped as Olivia Henson's veil blew in the wind outside Chester Cathedral before the ceremony. There appeared to be a slight struggle to get Ms Henson's dress and veil, designed by Emma, under control. However, the bride-to-be eventually made her way into the church. Her dress featured a sweet nod to her family, an embroidery design which incorporated floral motifs and edgings from Ms Henson's great-great-grandmother's veil from around 1880. She also wore a pair of blue shoes and the famous Faberge Myrtle Leaf Tiara made for Grosvenor brides to wear on their wedding day, which has been in the family since 1906. Her bouquet contained flowers picked from the gardens of the Duke's family home, Eaton Hall. The Dean, who officiated the Anglican service, noted in the programme, "It remains our solemn duty to continue to honour the outstanding gallantry, service and sacrifice of the Duke's ancestors." After the ceremony, the newlyweds shared their first public kiss before celebrating with 400 guests at the Grosvenor family's historic Eaton Hall estate in Cheshire. The King did not attend, ostensibly for health reasons, although some suspect a message was being sent in response to reports that Camilla was poorly treated when attending the 2004 wedding of the Duke's sister, Lady Tamara Grosvenor, before her marriage to Charles. The Mirror reminds us that at that wedding, the late Queen Elizabeth was invited, as was the then Prince Charles and Camilla, although it was before the pair married. It was reported that Camilla's invitation came with the stipulation she could not sit next to Charles or arrive with him, due to the late Queen and Prince Philip also attending. According to a source to the Mirror, their majesties have not forgotten what happened at the wedding of Hugh's sister. There is still a lot of tension that exists. Kate Middleton did not attend. The environmental group Just Stop Oil said its activists disrupted the wedding ceremony. Two women protesters, aged 69 and 73, sprayed orange powder paint into the air from a fire extinguisher while standing among spectators near the venue exit. Barbara Williams, 81, an eyewitness, described the scene per Sky News. "We were standing next to them all day. Everyone was watching the bride and groom, and then we just saw orange, and they had what looked like a fire extinguisher with them." Police quickly arrested the two protesters. In a statement, protester Polly said, "Weddings are a time of coming together in celebration to make a commitment to the future. However, for countless millions around the world, there is no future unless we come together to stop oil and gas." Another protester, Sheila, stated, "What do we value most, the wealth of billionaires like the Duke of Westminster, or the lives of the billions who are being destroyed by the fossil fuel industry?" Palace Intrigue will be right back. In other news, Prince Harry's request to expedite his appeal against a High Court ruling on UK security arrangements was denied by a Court of Appeal judge. Lord Justice Bean stated, "It is rightly not suggested that the claimant is entitled to jump the queue because of his status." While granted permission to appeal the February decision backing the government's right to deny him automatic police protection, Harry sought to have the appeal hearing scheduled by July's end. He argued the initial ruling would influence the approach other countries take to his security, and that the Sussexes are planning multiple overseas tours in the coming months. However, the judge dismissed Harry's argument on timings, noting he had not lodged legal proceedings in 18 months after the decision was made to withdraw his right to automatic security in February 2020. Royal expert Kinsey Schofield told Talk TV, "It does feel like Harry and Meghan, specifically with Meghan not coming during the last visit, Meghan not coming during several of the last visits, Harry refusing to stay at the palace. It's almost as if they're trying to prove their point by saying, well, Meghan can't come, she's not safe enough. Harry can't stay at the palace, it's not safe enough. They're the most immature adults I've ever witnessed in my entire life, and it feels that they are creating the distance to punish somebody and to prove some point, but the reality is that's the safest Harry would have been." Royal insider Deep Crown commented on how Harry must be feeling. With his absence from a close friend's wedding, Harry must feel more isolated than ever. He's not only geographically distant from his family and former social circle, but he's also emotionally distant. The bonds that once held him close to his brother, Prince William, and the rest of the family seem to have frayed, if not broken entirely. It's a lonely position to be in, especially for someone who grew up in the heart of British monarchy. Harry must grapple with the realization that his choices have led him to this point of isolation, even as he believes those choices were necessary for his own mental health and the well-being of his wife and children. And remember, you can get more of Deep Crown as a subscriber on Sunday. Lord Ivor Mountbatten, the King's second cousin and the first openly gay royal, has been announced as a celebrity contestant on the upcoming third season of The Traitors US. The 61-year-old farmer, geologist and businessman will join the cast at Andros Castle in the Scottish Highlands. The show follows a format similar to the BBC's hit series The Traitors. Contestants are divided into faithfuls and an opposing group of traitors, working to eliminate the others. The last player standing from the faithful team takes home a massive $250,000 cash prize. And there you have it. Please follow us on Spotify, Apple, or your app of choice. Leave us a review or 5 stars if you love the show. And remember, you can now get this show along with hundreds of others as a subscriber. Just look for the link in the show notes, and you can do that on Apple or Spotify or many other apps. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott. This is Palace Intrigue. Good times.